In iImprov-Fundamentals, like our other apps, you can set your preferences for a clef, your instrument transposition, as well as a balance for the jam-alongs. Once you set that, you can go in. There's quite a bit of an introduction. And Fundamental starts very basic, and then it moves very fast from there. In the intro, we're introducing you to the jam session, what you're going to experience for the first time, and kind of break down what's going on if you're going to your first jam sessions. And a breakdown of how to use the app and some nomenclature here so you can get through the chord symbols. From there, it goes into lessons. Lesson 1 starts with the major scale. Scales are very important in learning the language of jazz, and it starts with being very comfortable with the major scale because a lot of things you're going to do will build out from there. And this app, like I said, moves very fast. We get in from lesson 1. Lesson 2, we're getting into the concepts of diatonicism, and like everything else, you can hear examples of anything that we're talking about. And because we want you to jump in and start improvising very quickly, we give you a progression to practice with that uses just a major scale. Again, you control the tempos, and you transpose the keys you want to practice in. And when they're appropriate, and in this particular lesson, there will also be audio examples, so you can actually go in and
soloing
and
only
hear
using
it,
the major scale.
hear this being played. Okay, as we progress through fundamentals, we cover building thirds, diatonic thirds and triads, diatonic sevenths. We get into detail about understanding the cycle, very common chord motion in the jazz language. And we get into resolutions, basic resolution, as well as form. Very important concept to understand as an improviser. In fundamentals, there's also a kind of a chord scale compendium. You can look up a specific chord type, and you can hear different scale choices. Like if I want to hear different possible, look at a major 7, and I can hear what a major scale sounds like, or I can find out what a Lydian scale sounds like over that same chord. Now that's in fundamentals, and we've also done this sort of chord scale compendium on its own too. So if you find the fundamentals first, then you don't necessarily need the chord compendium that's on its own. There's also a very basic ear training module. There are some great ear training modules on the market. We're not going to go in depth as some of those, but we do give you some basic interval training. You can hear intervals and all keys, and also some examples of some tunes that use those intervals to try to get them into your ear. In addition to the ear training, you have play-alongs. Again, we have a 1-6-2-5, a 2-5 progression, 3-6-2-5, and a blues. So as we get into blues under form, you've got blues in all keys and all tempos that cycle around endlessly. That is iImprov-Fundamentals.